The tools are really starting to mature. We're really starting to find the success, and now's the time to get involved. We ultimately want to get to a point where we separate human in the loop and we rely solely on the AI system, identifying the defects for us, processing it, and allowing us to focus on the actual fix side, not the review side.
So the industry as a whole is having to shift very, very rapidly. AEP, like many other utilities, is faced with load growth demands like they've never seen before. Also, they have to streamline their operations. The inspections and the way that they manage and maintain their operations today is having to change.
We were flying, we were learning how to be proficient in operating the aircrafts. We were finding success there, but then we started to have choke points in the program, right? How do we operationalize the information that we're capturing? How do we increase the throughput? Because having someone review the images, image by image by image, was not a way that we could afford and a way we could scale our operations. So we were looking for partners of who's out in the industry, and one of the partners that we selected, because we liked the attitude, the direction they were going, they were upfront with us, was Buzz Solutions. And that is really where we win. So if we're comfortable in flying and gathering, and now we're working on the second piece of the critical part of our program is the throughput of processing all the way out to corrective measures in the field based on the findings.
I think AEP as a utility has unique challenges in their own. I mean, we have hurricane risk and wildfire risk in the same grid, in the same region. So they have a lot of challenges there, and we're working with them to solve them. So, I mean, largely, what are the main challenges here? It's really the unknown of the entire project. But things have been going really well. We have a great partner in Patrick and AEP, and they're really pushing us, and we're also showing them the capabilities of the art of the possibility.
So when we start to think about capturing data from all different methods, whether it's drones or satellites or fixed wings or helicopter, ultimately a lot of that data capture resides within specific programs. We are breaking those walls down. We're trying to merge that into an AI-focused approach to understand what we're looking at, how do we classify it, how do we isolate it down to the structure level, and then how do we look at change over time of conditions on that asset, and then ultimately how do we take the knowledge and understanding of what's supposed to be there versus what is there today, or the conditions it's supposed to be operated in, and is that what it looks like today, and quickly understand those key differences to be able to articulate, where do I take action?
There's benefits everywhere we look. From a capacity planning standpoint, we are measuring load, right? So we know that if we're already at capacity on that line, where it becomes helpful is really the engineering. What needs to go into this project? What are the areas of improvement? What's available? Maybe we need to build a line on the adjacent side of the street. Okay, all of this stuff is being captured. So where we historically always had to go out and find out information, we're finding more and more use cases of how to better leverage the data in different areas of groups than what we initially were trying to solve. The groups are helping us identify areas that there's additional benefit we didn't even consider. I think it not only allows me to share the benefit, it allows me to provide an artifact that proves that I inspected that asset. It allows me to start measuring degradation. What was the state of that asset year over year over year? So that allows us to measure things we never had the data to measure. We never thought about how we could historically use it to leverage to predict failure and predict the life expectancy on our assets. We're learning.
In order to scale an inspection cycle to the size that AEP wants to go to, it's really important to have the infrastructure to make that possible. They're going to be collecting tens of thousands of images a week, maybe even to the point where they're collecting tens of thousands of images per day. So they need a way to go through all of that data, and Power AI is the way to do that. So we're taking all of those images, narrowing them down to a data set that actually matters and is of interest to them so that they can go through less data than they would in the manual process. Another important thing that's going to help out with that mass scale of data is integrating all of the other vendors into the Power AI platform. So we're working with Census Centero, we're working with Skydio in order to create those interconnections and really be able to process that data in near real time and at scale.
The great thing is what we don't know, we're excited about. We're not scared. We're getting involved, we're going hands-on, and we're openly sharing what we're doing with others so that they can learn from what we're doing. And we hope for them to reciprocate with us and tell us what they're working on so that we can cover more ground faster together. We are stronger together than as individuals.